Greetings, friends, family, earthlings, fanatics, people of the earth. It's me. Can you hear me? I'm a little late today, sorry. I've been fooling with something called personalization. And I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to show that to you, and I'm going to hope that it works. Because part of what I'm going to have to do is to turn on and off a VPN. So I don't know what's going to happen with Facebook Live, whether it's going to let me do this and not get messed up. Sunita, hey, welcome. Thanks for popping in and commenting. Hey, I love comments because that lets me know who's here. I'm using a tool called eCam, and it's not like Facebook Live directly where I can see who pops in and, you know, because it gives you that little green bar and says, hey, Joanne's here or whatever. So I don't always get to know who shows up unless you make a comment. And comments, of course, help my videos get seen by more and more and more people, especially if you share. So, in terms of today, I'm going to do, if anybody has any questions about contests, pop them in the question box. And I'm pointing over there because that's where it is on my screen. But personalization is an interesting thing. And what I'm talking about is a scenario where somebody comes to your website, and you can do this with this tool I'm going to demonstrate, assuming it all works, called Unless, which is a difficult name sometimes because it's a regular US word, right? US word, English word, and so it's sometimes difficult to describe. But suppose you have a website and you have a particular page or a store, and maybe if the client, the person that comes to your website, happens to be in a city, say Toronto, and it happens to be raining in Toronto, then you want to pop up an umbrella. Said, hey, we've got umbrellas on sale. I see it's raining in Toronto. As opposed to your just standard store. And so personalization can do some really cool stuff. There's all kinds of different ways of doing it. You can do it based on location. Some of the tools do weather. And so what I'm experimenting with is adding personalization to contests. One of the things that many clients have asked me for is to be able to eliminate people. And I don't mean kill them, knock them off, rub them out. I mean just simply, let's say you have a contest that's running in the United States only. I've had this problem multiple times. And somebody comes in from, let's say, France. You want to be able to tell them that they're not eligible, right? It would be nice to be able to tell them they're not eligible instead of them having to potentially read through the rules or potentially just go ahead and register, and then when you go to pick a prize winner, find out they're in France, and if it doesn't, you know, the business doesn't apply to somebody that lives in France, and why would you want to share that with them? So personalization can do some cool stuff. Now the tool Viper, I think it was Viper. I've looked at so many tools recently, I keep getting lost as to which one I'm looking at. It's either Viper or Viral Loops. I think it's Viper. I know it's Viper. Added a personalization for location. Well, let me rephrase that. They added a location feature such that it would, Viper would automatically show somebody who's not in the right location whether or not they can enter the contest. Now that sounds pretty cool, right? Isn't that something you think you'd want? It would make your page more appealing if people didn't have to do that. Hey, Sharita! I'm trying to get my daughter to watch that video you did the other day. We had a conversation about it. So you're impacting people, Sharita. Anyway, let's not get distracted with what Sharita's doing, because that's cool stuff. Anyway, but if you could get And my wife just pointed out to me the other day that I say anyway fairly often, and I just did it twice, now that I'm thinking about it. Personalization could be a really great thing. So I currently, I'm gonna show off some stuff, and I don't know how well this is gonna work, because what I think is gonna happen is that I could potentially lose my live feed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch over to my desktop, and right now it is, let me see if it switched. Why is it not showing me the whole thing? There we go. So this is a campaign I am running, or going to run, for a company called Fuji. Fujifilm makes cameras. And if I scroll down here a little bit, I'm laughing at Sharita's comment about, she says, in particular, a lot. There's a little blurb right here that says USA only. And I made it kind of small, but at the same time I wanted it to be fairly bigger. And they asked me to put in, I'm a resident of the USA checkbox, and I'm agreeing to receive information regarding full, so all this text, before the enter button. And I said to myself, hey self, you have a tool called Unless that does personalization. What would happen if you could give people information that says, hey, they're not in the United States? So I'm going to switch over to Chrome. So this is the tool called Unless, and I'm inside the tool, and I'm not going to be able to show you a whole lot. I mean, I'm not going to demo absolutely everything that's in here. And I forgot that I got rid of my face, so that's probably why I can't see. So you can't see my face. I'm talking to the camera. Let's see. Anyway, I'll figure out how to put my face back on. I killed it yesterday when I was doing another demo. But notice that there's all kinds of things that you can do inside here. And this is the summary page. And right now you can see that I've done testing. Oh, the chart went away. You can set goals, and I'm not going to try to go through all this because it's kind of crazy, but if I click on goals, then it switches, and you can see number of people that are completing the sign-up process, so I set a goal for that. Audiences is where you define who's going to see what, and I've been playing with multiple things, like with mobile and desktop, and different websites of where somebody came from, etc. But I have one down here called Not USA, and I'm going to click on it. I created it some time ago. But you'll see that it says, you will join this audience if the geographic country is not equal to the United States. Now, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can add more. You can do context, you can do region, you can do trade region, city, zip code, IP address, all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's just a million different things that you can do with this, and I'm going to not save that because I don't want to mess it up. But what happens is I'm clicked on personalizations here, and if anybody has any questions as I'm going, make sure you pop those in the question box because I'll happily answer questions because I know this could be kind of confusing. But what I have is a couple of personalizations. Again, I've been playing with a couple of things this morning just to see how it works because they've added some new features. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go, let's see if I have it open. I don't have it open anymore. So I'm in Chrome, so I'm going to do open a new window, incognito, and I'm going to open my tool called paste because I never remember the last time I used the URL, but I have multiple clipboards. And so here's the Fuji giveaway URL, and this is not live, so don't come trying to enter this campaign. But notice if I flip back over to up arrow, this is what the default look and feel is. And notice that because I'm using a VPN, and I'll pop this down here. Oh, it doesn't say where. Oh, yeah, it does. It says right here, Toronto. It might be rather small, But, so my computer currently thinks that I am in, or is telling the internet that I am currently in Toronto. So I'm in Canada. And I'm going to try, maybe I won't try to disconnect because I don't want to lose y'all. But if I were to disconnect this and refresh this page, then this bar up here at the top that says it appears you're not in the United States and not eligible, but here's a link to go learn more about the camera. And I've replaced this top section with note, we found you're not in the USA, this is a USA only contest. And by the way, I was able to remove, I'm going to flip back over here to the actual UpViral preview page. Here's the entry form with your name, last name, best email, and postal code, and the checkbox and the button. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. And then the sweepstakes rules. So I managed right here to get rid of that entire sign-up form. So I have personalized. I think this is really cool, don't you? I'm going to ring the bell because I think this is pretty freaking awesome. So I can show people that come in from the United States that not only are they not eligible, but I can take the form off the page so that they don't get a chance to enter the contest. Now, what I'm going to talk to the client about is potentially just not using this particular page as it sits now, but to put the form back on and say, right above the form, it says, look, we know you're not in the United States, but if you want to be on our email list, you won't be eligible to win the prize, but if you want to be on our email list, then go ahead and sign up, because that's what they're after, right? So that's one way. There's multiple ways of doing this. Anyway, so I think this is absolutely fabulous. This bar up here at the top, I'll just flip back over to unless. So that's this, what they're calling the CTA bar. I have one called the floating bar, which I currently, if I click edit, you'll notice that it says, oh, live. I thought I had that one turned off. Oh. Because it says, show to visitors matching any of the following things, and my audience is set to USA and Canada. So I'm not, well, I am in Canada. So I don't know why that didn't show up. It's supposed to look like, where's my preview button? Oh, there's the preview button. So I'm going to do preview as page. I think this will work. So here's the pop-up down here at the bottom that thing is supposed to do. Apparently I don't know how I'm doing it. I thought, but anyway, so I got to go through and look and see why that didn't show up or does show up and blah, blah, blah. It should only show up in the United States, right? So what I was going to do was potentially have them go take a survey if they come to the page the second time without registering. Because if they come to this page and see the lead page, then that means they didn't sign up. So anyway, I'm going to close that. So a tool like Unless, which sounds really weird, a tool like Unless is a great way of adding this personalization. So what do you guys think? Is this cool or is this not cool? I think it's pretty freaking cool. There's several of you still here, thankfully. Thank you very much for tuning in. But what do you think about this? Is this something that is advantageous to you? What I'm really hoping is that eventually a tool like Viper or UpViral or somebody will get the clue and add some functionality into the campaign. Now, one of the things, for example, if I switch back over to the UpViral just preview, let's suppose that you were coming in from somebody's Facebook share. So you registered and then, or I'm sorry, let's rephrase that. Somebody registered for the contest. Let's say Sharita registered for the contest, and I saw it on her Facebook feed because she shared it on her Facebook feed. And then I came to the page, clicked on the link and came to the page, and it says, hey, welcome. I see that Sharita recommended this to you. or some phrase that indicates that, you know, I know that the tool recognizes who the person was that submitted your name or submitted the link, wouldn't that make you say, ah, well, look, this is smart enough to know that Sharita recommended it to me. And we've talked about the fact that recommendations bring in 26% more revenue for the people that sign up and become buyers. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if the tool could do that? Now, that would have to be done inside the tool, because I can't do a personalization from the tool called Unless, because it doesn't have the ability to recognize the name. It would have to come through either the URL or some cookies or something, but, you know, the URL would have to have the string that said, like, from name would be Sharita or something, and I know there's probably issues about privacy, which is why I would probably only use first name, but I think that would be freaking cool. And Sharita says, yes, that would catch my eye. Of course it would. I think everybody would catch your eye. Now, it might be a little freaky. Some people might say, oh, that's a little freaky. I don't want freaky. I just want to be able to understand whether I should register. But I think with the idea that there's the possibility of the personal recommendation adding some weight and convincing people that this is potentially a valid contest that's being that they're seeing, and that somebody recommended it that they potentially know, right? I mean, theoretically, if I'm clicking on a link in Sharita's Facebook feed, I would guess I know her, right? But I think that's true. I think Sharita says, as she says, that would catch my eye. It would certainly catch my eye. Now, I've turned that off. I'm come back to me. I think you can figure out that if I turned off my VPN, then I could show you without the personalization. But I think that's pretty freaking cool. So I'm going to show this to the client today. I'm going to do a little video and demo it for them to say, hey, I have this capability. Do you want me to turn it on? And guess what? I, of course, could ask them to pay more if they want personalization. I'm going to do it in this particular case for no extra charge because I want to be able to test and see whether it makes any difference. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm not sure how I'm going to actually analyze the results, which is, you know, part of the thing that you need to think about when you come up with an idea. You need to be able to figure out whether or not it's going to work. Okay, and it works, or whether or not it's going to impact anything. See, now I'm thinking. Anyway, oops, I did it again. See, now I'm going to be conscious of it. And when Sharita, or when you say in particular on your videos, I'm going to watch for that too. Anybody have any questions? Do you understand what I'm showing you? Does it make sense? Is it something that would appeal to you? If a vendor were to build in something like that, would it make you more liable to buy a particular product? I think it would. And then it would make, for example, UpViral or whoever implemented it stand out a bit to be able to say, look, we can add some personalization in if desired. It, you know, doesn't have to be there. But I certainly think the conversions would go up a decent percentage, a significant enough percentage to be able to implement it and do it because of that referral. The warm and fuzzy that somebody I know recommended this to me. I don't think I would put in something like, hey, I see it's raining where you are, or anything like that, but maybe it depends upon the product. You certainly can do things like put in a URL parameter. Like, I think I kind of glossed over it, but if you put in UTM codes or some URL parameters that say, well, this traffic is coming from Sharita's website. I mean, if I specifically had given a link to Sharita, for example, for this, and I saw that it came from Sharita's website, I had one in there for a website called Sweepstakes Advantage that I use. Sometimes I post contests there. And so if the domain, the referral domain comes in a Sweepstakes Advantage, I can put in a message that says, hey, I see you came from Sweepstakes Advantage. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. All kinds of things that you could potentially do based on the source, based on where the person lives, and based on their IP address. I think it's a pretty freaking cool thing, and I'm going to be learning more and testing out more stuff like that. It adds some additional work, of course, to your process if you're going to put in something like that. But once you have it set up, like, for example, with unless, once I have that not USA set up, I can use that in every other campaign. It's just a matter of pulling it up and then customizing the way the page looks for that particular audience. It takes a little bit of training, and once you start using it, it will become very more. That's better than any more, right? Anyway. It will help you once you learn how to do it, just like anything else. So, anyway, I did it again. Dang it. The other thing that my wife and I catch each other on, and I see it all the time. This is a sidebar conversation, right? I see people do it all the time. It's become very common to say, honestly, comma, blah, 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 blah. And if you say honestly, then does that mean everything else you say is a lie? I mean, why are you specifically saying honestly as if you weren't telling the truth before? I say it every now and then, but since my wife brought it up, we catch each other. It's very common in the United States, at least, to say stuff like that. So, anyway, question. Oh, God, I did it again. Questions? Anybody have any questions before I sign off? I hopefully gave you some information to think about something that you could do for your clients. Something you could do for your own business. I mean, imagine if you had and I don't have an affiliate link to sell you this service. I happen to have gotten it through AppSumo on a lifetime deal, so I only had to pay that one time, and I think it was $49. So I think it's fairly cheap for me to do testing and to use it. But I think it's a freaking cool thing, and I think the more we are on the web, the more that I see personalization coming through, I think it's going to be rather advantageous. It's going to make you stand out. If you're looking to stand out in the world, I'm thinking back to Sharita, what you said on the other day on your video, and that was an awesome session about not caring what people think, but at the same time, in this kind of a case, if you're presenting yourself to somebody and you're trying to be unique, to stand out, to separate yourself from the world, you want them to think highly of you. And by customizing a website so that they feel more welcome, then I think that's a good thing. So, anyway, Sharita said, thank you. She said, no questions. You were super clear and, as always, sparking ideas. Spark. Well, you know, Sharita, I am so passionate and so crazy about the contest idea that this permeates just about everything I think about these days. And when I see somebody doing something, because I'm going out there and analyzing what other people are doing, I try to figure out a way to either use that. I mean, even the other day, and I haven't told anybody about this, but the idea is percolating because I was thinking about the McDonald's Monopoly game. And one of the things that, I haven't told anybody this, but anyway, one of the things that UpViral and other tools have the ability to do is to issue rewards. And so what we say on the page, and this particular Fuji client didn't want to do any rewards, but let's say if you get 5 people to sign up, then we're going to give you a ebook, or we're going to give you a free class that nobody else has access to. But what if you looked at Monopoly and how they have you go buy something and you scratch off the soda, whatever, you pull off the tag and it says you win nothing, or you win $25, or you win a new car, or it's got to go on the Monopoly board, and all the stuff with Monopoly with that contest. But it's the fun factor of that contest where there's a surprise, right? If I do a reward inside UpViral and you get 5 people to sign up, then you know what you're going to get because I'm going to tell you. But what if there was this surprise factor to it, where every randomly, let's say I have this training class, but randomly I'm going to select 1 or 2 or X number of people to win a $5,000 thing, or something crazy. I don't know. I'm just making it up. But the fact that I could set up a reward like the Monopoly game that would be random, so that somebody would win something that's very different than everybody else is getting. I think that would incentivize people to make it fun, to make it more interesting. I think it's a great idea. And, of course, I think it's a great idea because I came up with it, right? But just imagine, I mean, I don't know if you've seen it. There are a couple of tools that have, like, the Wheel of Fortune, the spinny wheel that you click on it and it spins and then it selects a coupon or a bonus prize or something. But what if we could do that as in a rewards? And it certainly would get people to open their emails, right? Because you say, if you get 5 people to sign up, we're going to send you an email that's going to have this bonus, potentially this major bonus in it to 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, like the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is another example, right? How many candy Wonka bars did they sell because there were going to be those, I don't know, what is 5 kids that got to go to the factory tour? See, that kind of thing could be potentially awesome in a contest. Man. See, the more I talk about it, the more excited I am. Because I think that would be really cool. Sharita, bless your heart. I am really seeing how I can use contest in my business. Yes. Thank you. Revelation, bing, bing. I don't have a sound for that other than this one. Hello. Cash register ringing. That's what we want, right? We want that. We don't want this one.
Danger, danger.
We don't want danger. We want to see how we can grow our business. And if you have the ability to get people interested in what you're doing by having fun, I mean, Sharita, the other day, I mean, you had a lot of fun in that entire Facebook Live. I mean, that was crazy, the amount of fun you had. So this is why I keep thinking and exploring things. Light bulbs. Thank you for that. I need a light bulb sound. Is there a sound associated with the light bulb?
Fire That was definitely an e-ticket.
That was an e-ticket, all right. Does anybody know what an e-ticket is? I do. I know. I bet very few people, anybody watching on replay, I ought to do a contest. Now you can go look it up. I'm sure you could Google it, but who knows what an e-ticket is? I dare you. I dare you. I used to have a bunch of e-tickets. Electricity sound, yes. Thank you, Shrita. See, that's the other thing we all do way too much, besides the anyway or the in particular thing. We all say, E-ticket.
Danger, danger.
Oops, that's not it.
That was definitely an e-ticket.
Actually, that sound clip, electronic ticket. No. Good try. Thank you for trying. You lose. I need that sound back, too. I had all kinds of sounds on here. I just don't remember where they are.
Well, I thought it was a very lovely story.
Lovely story. Back in the day, I used to live in Southern California, and we lived in Fullerton. And back in the day, Disneyland, I mean, this is like 60s? Because I moved to Florida in the 70s. No, I moved to Florida in the late 60s. Wow, that's a long time. I know. Anyway, in the olden days, Disneyland, and I don't remember if Disney World had it, but what you used to do, instead of just buying admission, you would buy a coupon book or a ticket book. And there were different tickets, A through E. The A ones were like the Dumbo ride or the, in the kids area. So every ride that you wanted to go on, you had to have a coupon or a ticket, and the ticket defined which ones you could go on. Like, just for example, I don't know if it was true, but like the Matterhorn in Disneyland LA, that you could ride through. There was a roller coaster there. That was an e-ticket. The e-tickets were the really exciting, fun rides, and you only got 2 tickets, e-tickets in the book. People used to save up and trade e-tickets and stuff. So that sound clip,
that was definitely an e-ticket,
is actually from one of the space shuttle astronauts. Just after they got up into orbit, she said that. Anyway, that's the old story. I'm dating myself a lot here, baby. I remember riding the Matterhorn. The Matterhorn, if you don't know, the Matterhorn has a roller coaster, and it's only in Disneyland. Herman, hi Herman, thanks for popping in. You got a lot of catching up to do, because I've been talking a lot. But the Matterhorn, so there's this pretend mountain, right? And on the roller coaster, it goes in and out of the mountain. And I remember reading in the newspaper that somebody stood up as they were going outside, or they leaned out to try to see down or whatever. And so there were tunnels. You'd go in and out of the mountain. So you came out of a tunnel entrance and you went in, and people didn't live very long sometimes. Scary story. I remember that it was poorly designed. They learned a lot about ride design, because I specifically remember this. And again, I don't remember how old I was. I'd have to kind of put my math hat on. But so you're in this little car, right? This roller coaster car, and everybody's single file. So you're people in front of each other, like the log flume rides at Six Flags or whatever. But they had the handles on the outside of the car. And you would depending upon how you held your hand out there, as you went in and out of the tunnels, it was so close that you would scrape your knuckles. I remember getting scraped knuckles. And then they finally realized, hey, let's put the handles on the inside of the car. Ride safety. How to engineer your ride safely so people don't die. That's not what you came here for. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. If anybody has any questions, Herman, thanks for popping in. Sharita says, I learned something new. Yes, that's the e-ticket.
Danger, danger.
I did the wrong one again.
That was definitely an e-ticket.
I love these sounds. It makes me unique. Right? Right. So we talked about personalization. We talked about up viral. We talked about contests today. Nobody had any specific contest questions, but I really, really like the personalization idea, and I'm going to be spending more time exploring that. Coming up on May 1st, as a short, quick plug, I am doing a Win Together program. Sharita, I think you're going to be in that, are you? Maybe. Starting May 1st, so we're going to do some training for a week and planning and picking prizes, and then the second week we're going to build your campaign. So this is not just a boring old training class where I'm going to teach you how to do stuff. We're going to freaking do it. Week 2, we are building your first contest. Week 3, we are launching it to the moon, and we are going to get new leads for your business. And by the end of May, you're going to have new leads, new people you can sell to. In the first session that we did in March and April, we did it stretched out. We're shortening it a little bit. One of our members did a contest for her client, and her client raised $4,500 plus in revenue in 2 weeks. Oh, Sharita, that's funny. You're funny, Sharita says, I think I'd like to participate in particular, because that was from the earlier conversation. If you missed it, you'll get it. If you didn't. Anyway. Great. Good to have you on. I will talk to you about that, how to get on board. It is not free, but the amount of value that you're going to get out of your campaigns is insane. Now, not everybody got tons of leads, and we had some people that struggled and didn't get their contest launched. In fact, I was going to launch a contest during the thing, but I'm going to launch it in May. We're going to make that happen. I'm going to make it happen because I think seeing an example actually launch, and the first session that we did, it's not this is kind of intense. Okay, I'll tell you right up front, if you're thinking about this, you better have your big girl panties on, or your big boy underwear, whatever you want to call it, because this is intense. We're doing a lot of frickin' stuff, especially in the first 2 weeks. And there's going to be at least 2 sessions every week. And they'll be recorded, of course. So if you're we have a couple of people in the first session that were in Australia, somebody in Ireland, somebody in the United Arab Emirates. And so not necessarily all the times are available to get everybody involved. So you can watch the recordings, but almost every one of the sessions turned into about 2 hours. People popped in and popped out as they needed to, but there's a lot to cover, and to do it really right, you got to understand what you're doing. Now, I'll go back and say the folks there's a tool called Perkzilla that's launching phase 2, their version 2, and in their video they say you can launch a contest in 5 minutes. No. You're going to launch a bunch of crap in 5 minutes if that's what you think a contest is all about. There's a whole lot more work involved in a contest than, building it in 5 minutes. That's so much crap. Sharita says, let me share this. I'll get to you in a second, Roberto. Thank you for your questions. It is a good challenge. It's a fantastic challenge. And I'm just simply telling you, if you're not ready to go, that's okay. You can learn. And we had several people that attended the sessions and didn't launch. But we're going to try to be accountable this time. I'm going to try to hold your feet to the fire, because that's where the value is. You can listen to me preach all day long, but the value is in actually frickin' getting the job done and building your contest. So thank you, Sharita. I'm looking forward to having you on, because I know you're gonna kill it. You're gonna rock it. Roberto's question. Back to the personalization. I haven't done any particular... You're asking for recommendations on video platforms. I haven't jumped into any of the video platforms yet. I'm still website personalization. Imagine coming to a contest and having a video that displayed your name in it. Now, unfortunately, most people that come to the contest page, we don't know who they are. We don't have any clue who they are unless they're already on our list. And so I'm not sure exactly how that would apply. It might apply on the share page once we have their name. And it certainly could apply to emails that you're sending out once they've registered. If you're going to include a video or like an animated GIF maybe that has their name in it, that would certainly be freaking cool. But I'm sorry, Roberto, I haven't done any analysis of the video platforms yet. I saw a friend sent me one that was personalized with my name on it, and I went, holy crap, that's cool. So I've seen samples. I don't have any answer for you. I'm sorry. There are times where I don't have answers. I know, shocking. Sharita says, I am learning to take massive imperfect action. A good friend of mine here in St. Louis says that all the time. That's his buzzword. Michael Gebbin is his name. What software for web personalization? Well, in my case, I bought and demoed earlier, and why earlier is up, I don't know. Earlier maybe should be that way. But if you're looking at the video, maybe it should be that way. The one that I demonstrated was Unless.com, which I purchased a lifetime deal through AppSumo, so it was really inexpensive. I don't know what they're currently charging, but Unless is the one I'm using, and I only happened to buy it because it came through AppSumo, and I thought it was cool, and I bought it, and then I tested it for UpViral, and I found out it would work with UpViral, and so I kept it. And bless your heart for this. I would love for you to shout that to the world, to tell everybody how great I am, please. If you think this is valuable, of course, share it with your friends. By the way, the Win Together program that I was talking about a few minutes ago, I have an affiliate program set up just as a side plug. If you know somebody, maybe you're not ready, but you know somebody that wants to be involved, I'll pay you $100 for every person you bring to me that signs up. Okay, so I have an affiliate program. You can sign up and bring people to me. So if you want to make a little bit of money, and I also have it set up, and this is crazy, but if you get 5 people to sign up to the May event, I'll give you, instead of $100, I'll double it to $200 a piece. So you'll get $1,000 if you bring me 5 people that sign up and pay. Sound like a deal? You want to make some money? Let me know and I'll tell you how to do that. Herman, I think that Vidigios, I don't know how you say that, does that, but of course after having their info. Yes. Obviously, I mean, the video ones I've seen, if you happen to be logged into Facebook, they're managing to pull the Facebook name, because I think that's how my friend did it, is he sent me something and I was logged into Facebook, so it said, "Hey Mitch," because it brought up my profile image from Facebook. I think that's how it worked. I don't know how all that stuff works. I frankly don't know enough about the video personalization to be able to answer those, but Vigios. Interesting tool name. And thanks, Herman, for popping in and posting that, because I've got lots to learn. Like I said, I think it would be very interesting for a contest to be able to do that. So, coming down the road, I'll be figuring that out. Right now, what I'm trying to do is simply show this to clients to be able to personalize the web presence with tools like UpViral. I haven't tested Viper or anything else yet. I imagine it would work. They seem to be able to pull in just about any kind of page and slap your stuff on it. So that's freaking cool. 45 minutes we're here. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any more questions or comments, hit # replay in the comments, and I'll be happy to pop in and answer your questions or share this with your friends. I really appreciate everybody commenting and liking, and I got some hearts there and some thumbs up, all that social media stuff, and I hate to ask for it, but what I really want you to do is if you happen to know somebody that could grow their business by doing a contest, and maybe you've talked about it and you haven't gotten off the stick, or they haven't gotten off the stick, I'm going to be doing one of these programs. I think my plan is to do one every month. It might actually last 5 or 6 weeks, but we're going to start a new one every month. And I'm going to sneeze, and that's dangerous. Or maybe not. So if you know somebody that's struggling getting leads, send them my way. If you want an affiliate link, and send them my way, or just tell me that you referred them, I'll get the $100 to you if they sign up. And if you just want to do it because you want to help them, you don't have to get the $100, right? Maybe you're already well off and don't need extra money. But thanks for tuning in. I will try to, I say try because I don't necessarily make it every day. But I will be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central if I happen to make it online. Otherwise, I'll catch you Monday next week for sure. Thanks very much. I'm Planet Mitch from GiveawayRocket.com. Hope you have a great day. And let's all shoot for the moon for our emails.
Goodbye.
But when will I see you again?
Oh, never, never.
Never?